And I was, by me being a celebrity, the CEOs used to take me away from out of cell. I used to get blimpies, the real food. You know, that was the great thing about having a little celebrity thing on your side.
When's the last time that you did a significant amount of time?
I never did a lot of time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank God. I used to catch cases, and sometimes by me outthinking the judge, and they know what I was doing, they will reprimand me or remand me into jail. So they got me in Rikers one time for like 30 days. But what was so great, every bad situation I've ever been in always turned out to be great. I remember being locked up at Rikers Island, 30 days. 2 days later, I was on the Cash Money Rough Rider tour. So I went from a one man, I was already working on that deal already. Because I'm my own agent, my own manager. That deal was already in the works before it even took off. But it was so beautiful to be locked up in Rikers Island. 2 days later, I was one of the biggest tours in the country in the 90s.
Right.
Went from a one-man cell to an 18,000-seater.
Do you feel like nowadays your life has been comfortable enough for long enough that you quite often forget about how much you should really be appreciating the little things? Are you too far away from
What
that?
happened with the social media podcasts like this, Vlad, of course, The Breakfast Club.
Shout out Vlad.
It made me appreciate my accomplishments, right? Because I wasn't sharing it with anybody. I'm the guy who was truly humble. Like, once I do it, I don't talk about it anymore. Like when my mother was alive and she used to see me on BT, Comic View and all this stuff. And she would call me, she's like, babe, why you ain't tell me you was gonna be on TV? I'm like, oh, Ma, I got the check already. I'm cool. So over the last few years, a lot of people didn't know that I was behind a lot of celebrities like D.L. Hughley, Godfrey, et cetera. And it was almost to a point that they felt that it was almost a lie until the DLs and them spoke up and said, nah, T.K. Kirkland. The Godfreys spoke up, said, nah, T.K. Kirkland. And it's just a long list of great things I've accomplished. And I'm like, I'm impressed.
Right.
Like I sit down now like, oh shit, I really fucking did that. And that leads to me receiving the award on Saturday in Atlanta with the Red Fox Award, Humor Award that they're giving me.
Right.
And with the money that they raised, it's supposed to be a big check they're giving me. We're taking that money and putting it in the water box with Ellen DeGeneres, Will Smith, Jaden Smith's son, and all that money's going towards helping Flint, Michigan, clear their water crisis situation up there.
Well, that's interesting because there's something about what has sort of happened to the internet where it's like tidbits of factual information from the classic days of hip hop have become like real currency. Like you going and doing a interview clip with Vlad where you talk about how some crazy shit happened on tour with Dre or Easy or whoever.
Right.
That is something that might get 1 million views.
Absolutely.
If you tell a crazy ass fight story from an NWA tour or something like that. And that's really interesting because in a lot of ways, as you know, the audience that we all know that the audience of hip hop is very young. So we kind of expect in some way that our legends are going to become like less capable of like really doing numbers on the internet because the fans are going to slowly like forget and not really care about NWA or whatever. But instead, I feel like we've seen kind of the opposite where it's like if Jay-Z bumped into you in the hallway and told you to fuck off, that's going to be all the news. It's like a 30-year-old story about something like that. And so it's like your experiences and like the crazy shit that you actually lived through. Right. It's like a very clear path towards monetizing that.
Yes, his hip hop history. And it's amazing that the youngsters, the culture has embraced, especially my stories, you know? And speaking of Jay-Z, he's a billionaire now. And I remember when I was 35 years old, and he came up with his first single, and we hired him to do my birthday party in New York City in Manhattan, and we gave him $1,500.
And what year are we talking?
This is 1995.
So this is Reasonable Doubt just came out?
Reasonable Doubt, yep, 1995. And he was late, but I always took relationships and blossomed them. Next thing I knew, me, Jay-Z, Damon Dash, we were always going on tour. Right. You know, and we was doing little club dates, how the artists do it now. We was doing club dates all over the world. But I could tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, I was witness. Jay-Z and Damon Dash left a lot of money on the table.
What do you mean by
because
that?
They were party nights before, and miss their flight and not make it to the venue. I'm already there.
So Jay was partying hard enough that he wasn't necessarily able to stay on top of his business?
I was there. He was missing flights to a show.
That's not how we think of Jay now.
Exactly. But believe it or not, I used to be late to all my shows back in the day.
Really?
And believe it or not, that's how D.L. Hughley got his break, because I used to put him on certain shows.
Right.
And by me coming late, the owners started like, DL, you should host this. TK is always late, et cetera, et cetera. And that's the way it went down.
Was that sort of like a norm at the time, that it was just sort of normal to not really care as much?
Irresponsibility, not really knowing. And as you get older, you understand about being on time, being respected, having accountability for your actions. And you don't want to leave money on the table. You want people to respect you. That's my thing. Out of all the stuff I do, I want to walk in the room and be respected. That's the key.
Handle things the right way, regardless of what the easy way is.
Yeah, you're going to handle things the right way. You want to be a man's man, and that's the way. And I hold people accountable. That's the way I move through life. You know, I make sure that if you're a man, we talk about man things, all the way down to the demasculine of the black man, so to speak, right? Like, I'm upset about Pharrell being on the magazine with a fucking dress on.
Right.
And I read the article, he's talking about this, the new masculinity.
Right.
You know, that kind of shit motherfucker bothers me. Like, and I'm not against the gay culture. I just want people to understand I'm not against it. Do fuck what you want to do. But I want to raise young, strong black men, young, strong women in this universe as well. And if that's what I want to do, you have to allow me to do what I want to do instead of say, oh, I'm bashing towards this. I'm bad. That's not what I'm about.
It just feels like we've gotten to a point where it's like, why do we need to treat a dude like a hero for wearing a dress?
What the fuck, yo?
Who fucking cares? Like, if you want to wear some goofy ass outfit, fucking go for it.
Go for it.
But why are we going to act like it's a fucking honorable act? And like the other day I was watching this commercial that came out, and it's like the whole thing is just different scenes of different, like, it's like a trans girl or whatever. She's wrapping her tits up so she looks more like a dude, and there's like gay couples doing whatever.
Right.
And then there's just a Sprite logo at the end. And
what the fuck?
This whole thing was a Sprite ad. And I'm like, Sprite, listen, like, it's a beautiful thing that gay people feel so much more comfortable being themselves in a society, from my perspective.
Yes, sir.
It has absolutely nothing to do with your soft drink.
Right.
We don't believe you.
And here's what I find amazing. I talked about Cam Newton on the Breakfast Club about a month ago. Shit went insane. So many women hit me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, congratulating me on bringing this up, because our women, black, white, whatever, they're confused. They don't know what kind of man to deal with. They don't know how to go about it, because they're telling me it's an epidemic.
Right.
They have a school in Europe that they are trying to teach men how to fucking fix a tire. I'm not bullshitting.
Right.
I was at a hotel and talking to these gentlemen. They have a school to teach men how to be men. They had to close the motherfucker down because it was doing bad.
Right.
Men don't even know how to fix a tire.
Don't you feel like we've
crazy?
We've somehow ended up in this weird space where it's like where women feel the need to have careers to the same extent that men do, just because that's how it's supposed to be. Is you're supposed to be the super hardworking, career-minded individual. A lot of these women that I know who are like the most busy career-based women, they really, to me, seem like deep within themselves, they want to have kids and start a family, but they refuse to listen to that voice inside of them. So instead, they drive themselves miserable working fucking 70 hours a week.
And it's so many levels to disaster there. If you do your research on that, right, a lot of women die of heart attacks. A lot of people don't think about that. The heart attack rate for women, career women,
right,
who are busting their ass, is at one of the highest levels of all time, because women are not normally there to carry that type of pressure, that type of weight. So they're out there busting their ass and doing certain things. Now, the value of a man, let's call it, is just like any other thing, where some men don't appreciate when they're are the leader. So that has declined over the years, where a man's supposed to be the breadwinner of the home. And we have just gotten off in so many different directions what man think he should be. So everybody's fucking winging it, trying to do their own thing and trying to figure it out. And what I want to bring back is tradition. And what I want to bring back is men be men, man's man. If you can't handle being with the woman, then you're not qualified.
You
gotta be qualified.
You ever heard about Jordan Peterson?
The name sounds familiar.
He's basically like this Canadian philosopher or whatever, and he talks about a lot of these things. He talks a lot too. He has a huge, massive audience of like young men who basically he talks a lot about cleaning your room, which is basically a metaphor for like you need to have everything in order in your own life before you go out into the world and try to make change on the rest of the world. And it's like a lot of guys, like when you think about keeping your room clean, like what you were saying about the car earlier, it's like, it's not that important. Like there's no real importance to it, but knowing that your room's clean, knowing that everything is in order in your life before you go out into the world, it's like he just talks a lot about how taking on the responsibility of whether it's having children or starting a family or having a really good career or taking care of a member of your family, how that discipline will make you a better person.
It will make you a better
responsibility. And this message that he has to the world is so controversial with the people on the left who really are almost offended by the idea of a guy telling young men that they need to get their shit together and be men.
Kidding me.
It's so controversial. They talk about him like he's a fucking Nazi, bro.
You gotta be kidding me.
I swear. It'd be really interesting for you to check his shit out because I think you'd like it a lot.
Yeah, God, you understand what I'm saying? This is, what the fuck is going on?